In this sewing tutorial, I will show you how to sew a wrap dress from knit fabric step by step. You will not need to buy a pattern for the wrap dress because I will also show you how to draft a pattern for the wrap dress using your own measurements. The good thing about the wrap dress is that it can be adjusted to any taste and any shape. You can make it with short sleeves, long sleeves, 3/4 sleeves or no sleeves at all. There are also differences in the length and style of the skirt. Narrow, straight, flared, circle, short, long. A wrap dress is a great choice for those who are overweight. It can successfully hide the tummy and accentuate the neckline. Creating a pattern for the wrap dress is a very important step in making the dress. This pattern is specifically made for knit fabric. You can read detailed step-by-step instructions in a written tutorial on my site. How to draft a pattern for a wrap dress from knit fabric. It might seem complicated, but it's not hard to draft a pattern using your own measurements. What you will need for the wrap dress: fabric, lightweight, medium weight knit fabric. Cotton jersey is what I used. You cannot use woven fabric for this wrap dress. Choosing the right fabric is another important step in learning how to make a DIY wrap dress. The ideal option is cotton jersey. It's stretchy, very soft, drapes well, don't peel over time, doesn't require ironing or special washing conditions, perfectly shows the curves of the figure, easy to sew with a serger, easy to wear. Next, interfacing. I used knit interfacing. It's important to choose the proper type of interfacing for your knit wrap dress because your interfacing needs to match your fabric. It should add stability to the fabric without changing the quality of the fabric. I used very lightweight, thin, fusible knit interfacing, which has a certain amount of stretch in it. It does a great job of stabilizing the knit fabric. This tricot interfacing is delicate, semi-transparent, and has a crosswise stretch and lengthwise stability. It doesn't add any weight or bulk to the knit fabric. So, how to cut fabric for the wrap dress? Pre-wash the fabric of your choice and press it. If you want to use trims, pre-wash them too. Fold the fabric in half. The edges must be correctly aligned and the center back line on the pattern must be aligned with the fabric fold. Pin the back pattern. The front pieces of the dress have to be cut on a single layer of fabric without folding. Try to spread them over the fabric so that as little waste as possible remains. Don't forget to clip notches. In my case, it's the center back at the neckline at the waistline. Make sure you don't cut too far into your seam allowance. Cut only 1/8 of an inch or even less. I also made a notch at the top of the sleeve cap. This notch matches a shoulder seam on the dress. Cut interfacing for the dress, front facing 2 pieces and neck facing. Fuse the pattern pieces cut from interfacing to the wrong side of the corresponding fabric pieces. And now, how to sew the wrap dress step by step. I have broken down the sewing process into a few easy, really easy steps. It's better to sew the dress using a serger. I'm using a 4-thread 2-needle serger stitch. Step 1. Sewing side and shoulder seams of the wrap dress and sleeve seams. Pin the 2 front pieces to the back piece at the side seams and shoulders with right sides together, matching the edges and notches. As I'm stitching by serger, I insert pins parallel to the edges so that the serger presser foot has space to go. Pin the side seams of sleeves also. Thread your serger with coordinating threads. Test the stitch on scrap fabric first and make adjustments if necessary. Next, stitch side and shoulder seams, sleeve seams. When I use 4-thread 2-needle stitch, I don't trim the edges as I stitch it. After stitching side and shoulder seams, you can try the dress on and check the fit. At this point, you can adjust the center back and make the back seam if necessary. By the way, check my pattern making instructions for this. Step 2. Sewing the facing to the wrap dress. The facing is very important component of the wrap dress. The facing is used for stabilizing and shaping the edges. The facing helps maintain the desired design of your wrap dress. Stitch interfaced front facing pieces with the back facing together. Finish the outer edge of the facing by serger. Pin the unfinished edge of the facing to the front and neck edges of the dress with right sides together, matching the edges and shoulder seams. Make sure you don't stretch the edges. Stitch the facing to the dress. Turn the entire facing to the inside of the wrap dress and press the seam slightly to the wrong side so it won't show on the right side of the dress. Step 3. Attaching the trims to the wrap dress. This is completely optional. The best way to make the wrap dress look more unique is with trims, I think. I love this technique because it's so simple but also has such a big impact on the look of your dress. Turn the dress to the right side and baste the ribbon to the front. Top stitch the dress over the ribbon. Step 4. Setting in sleeves into the knit wrap dress. It is the next step, setting in the sleeves. So here I have a one-piece sleeve. The sleeve seam has been sewn together. For this wrap dress, I didn't draft the sleeves larger than the armholes of the dress, because I am making the dress from 4-way stretch knit fabric, and because of this I don't need to gather the sleeve to fit the size of the armhole, as we normally do when inserting sleeves in woven garments. First, I place the dress and sleeve right side facing out. I need to make sure that I am setting in the sleeve into the correct armhole, the right sleeve into the right armhole and the left sleeve into the left armhole. How will we know this? The sleeve is cut more on the front side. Start pinning the sleeve by matching the underarm seams in the dress and sleeve. Work with the armhole facing you. Next, match the notch at the top of the sleeve cap with the shoulder seam and pin. Pin continuously until the whole sleeve is pinned to the dress. Make sure you are matching the edges of the fabric from the armhole and the sleeve together. I prefer to baste the sleeve into the dress before stitching by serger. I use a running stitch about 1/4 inch in length and baste very close to the stitching line. Seam allowances are 1/4 inch for the sleeves too. Do the same with another sleeve. Stitch the sleeves and lightly press the seam allowances toward the sleeves. Step 4. Hemming the wrap dress. There are many ways to hem a neat wrap dress. You can sew a machine blind hem on the sleeve and dress hems. You can use a cover stitch machine to hem. You can use a twin needle to sew the hem. I'm going to use a twin needle for this wrap dress. I have a detailed tutorial on my site on how to sew with a twin needle. Check it out if you want to make sure you can sew with a twin needle without tunneling. Step 5. Finishing the wrap dress. At this point the wrap dress is practically ready, but we need to make a closure for the dress. There are many ways to do it. I have chosen this stylish clasp fastener made of real leather. I heard that it's a hot vogue element in fashion shows when you need to sew it to the wrap dress and line it up properly though. I also put a small button on the inside of the right side of the dress and the coordinating buttonhole on the left side. For the button placement you will need to try on the dress to mark the place where it suits you. It's better to use a small piece of interfacing behind the button to reinforce it. Now the wrap dress is finished. I love wearing wrap dresses because they are easy to wear and look great on my body type and on any body type in fact. I also like that you can dress them up and down depending on your mood and the occasion you are dressing for. When I'm feeling a little more dressy, I will pair my wrap dress with wedges or heels to make it fancier. If I'm just doing errands around town, then sandals are the perfect choice. All in all, these dresses make me feel feminine and confident, which is why they are one of my favorite things to wear.